The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallmark trying to go 3 wide. No one's with them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's going to dive it in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Welcome, race fans, back to Primetime Racing TV and tonight's coverage of the Hardline Racing League, the Midwest POWERSOURCE Cup Series, presented to you live here on PTR TV, bringing you the Dirty Air Studios 200, their season opening race at the Daytona International Speedway. In the booth here tonight with me, myself, Corey Silva, is my buddy Evan Black, and of course, the man behind the scenes, Joe Chris. Again, it'll be 80 laps of racing here, Evan. We're in the Cup car. We're starting off a brand new season here of Hardline.
Yeah, tonight Cup car at Daytona. Usually see some pretty good racing here. Last week was the duels, which Shane Tarrant did come home with a victory from that race, so we'll be starting on pole today. We are not going to be able to give you the field rundown or starting grid due to a few iRacing issues, but
yeah, this grid was set last week in the duel race, which you actually were able to watch here on PTR TV, so it did kind of, the grid was preset, and iRacing doesn't really like us doing that here on the overlay system, so we do know, I can tell you from last week's result, that Shane Tarrant will be the driver on the pole today. At least we can tell you that much, but Right now we are waiting a couple minutes. There was again some server issues here with the league setting up the race tonight, so just making sure that everybody who is going to be racing is available to enter the race tonight. And probably in about 2 minutes time we will be lining them up. I want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV for tonight's race for the Hardline Racing League. If you do like content, you're a new member to the channel, or new viewer to the channel, again, like and subscribe. That way you don't miss any of the action here. A lot of new content here on the channel. So, like, we're going to have about 20 drivers here tonight at Daytona for tonight's race, as they are just kind of turning some quick practice laps here, just last second laps, just to get the last feel for the car, and that is the cue. We are going to be hitting the race server here.
Yeah, car is getting on the grid now.
So right now we can't give you, as Evan alluded to earlier, we don't have the starting grid, unfortunately, to offer to you. So we do know that, as I said, Shane Tarrant is the pole sitter, and that again was decided last week in the duel that was here on PTR TV. These drivers had a 2-lap qualifying session that determined the front row, and then there was a 30-lap race, and the finishing results of that race did indeed dictate the results.
So Shane Tarrant, he did win last week, correct? Because he is not on pole.
Well then, everything Corey Silva just told you was a clear and odious lie, because he won the race. I'm going to take back everything I just said, because I am an idiot. I don't remember. He must have got the 1-2, the fastest lap of the session was the pole set.
Oh, you know, Corey, something I forgot about. You know how with qualifying, the top 2 were locked in?
Yeah.
So, yeah. We forgot about that. So Bronson Stafford and Robert Kinney will be the front row, and then the dual winner Shane Tarrant will be rolling off in 3rd.
Shane Tarrant was the winner of the duel. Again, this is a week's time that has elapsed, and some server issues here. So again, we're broadcasters, we know what we're talking about here. But again, we will offer our congratulations in the Krutz Custom Graphics Pole Award to Bronson Stafford in the number 61. Apologies for that mix-up there. But regardless of such, it looks like he is choosing to take the outside lane, I believe it looks like right now, unless he's just kind of cruising up there.
Yeah, a couple team cars up there in the front row, so probably going to work out a way for Bronson to get down there in front of Kenny.
All right, and before we go green, want to give a quick shout out to our camera specialist, Track Cams for Gourmets. The views we are using tonight are from Estevan there at Track Cams for Gourmets. Check them out, trackcams22.com, or the Facebook page, facebook.com/trackcams. But here we come through turns 3 and 4 for the Midwest PowerSource Cup Series here for the Hardline Racing League. Race 1 of the Cup Series. We brought you the entire Cup Series last season. This is our 2nd season of coverage with these guys. Coming through turns number 3 and 4, ready to get 2018 underway.
Coming out of turn number 4 now. Pace car getting ready to pull down in the pit road. Waiting on it, and there it goes. Now waiting for the green flag, and there that is. We are underway. Season opener here for the Hardline Racing League.
The jump goes to the 61 on the pole, cuts to the inside there. He will wait for the next person in line to get to his back bumper. That is the 10 of Robert Kenny, and the 3 Ryan Hart's really slow up top.
3 cars up there in the outer lane. They'll most likely just drop back. Looks like everyone is already down there in the bottom lane.
That is going to be an 80-lap race, and 20 drivers on the grid here tonight, ready for this race. Here comes the outside lane. They are to about the 5th position there in line, still being led by the number 3 of Ryan Hart's. Hartz has the number 88 of Josh Adams behind him, the 24 Thomas Bressie behind him. See someone all the way in the back there. I believe that's Cody Tabor, the Lone Ranger, all the way in the back of the pack in the high groove right now. But as lap number 1, first lap of the season, goes to Bronson Stafford.
I think the outside lane is just going to keep dropping back. Only 3 of them up there and the rest of the field down on the bottom. So we will see what happens with that.
Yeah, we did see last week in the race that they were able to they kind of ran in line, but they were able to make passes, make some 2 wide, 3 wide racing at the end. They were able to show that this car and these drivers can be competitive, but it is a long race, Evan, as we said, so I really don't expect too much to happen, but we'll see how aggressive they want to play. Remember, we do have a stage.
Yeah, stage will end on lap 30. And we saw last week in the duels, everyone was being all cautious for the first 15 laps shown. In the final 15, they were going hard.
A change from last season. If you watched us here on PTR TV last season for the Hardline Racing League, they had stages, but they had green stages where points were awarded, but the race was not interrupted by a yellow flag. That has changed this season. The stage will bring out a yellow. See someone kind of dip and blow the apron there, trying to maybe get some fresh air, maybe make a pass. But yes, there will be a caution on the stage.
Still looks like about 3 cars out there in that outside lane. Actually 4 cars now. There's 22 of Justin Munsell up there, the last car in the outside lane.
On board here with Ryan Hartz, as he has a very close view of the number 88 of Joshua Adams. A very nice touch here. The league sponsor is on the windshield banner of every single one of these vehicles. Midwest Power Source, the new official sponsor, title sponsor of the Hardline Racing League this season. Does look like we have a little bit of breakaway on the back of the field in the negative direction. Cody Tabor has lost the draft.
As well as Rusty Capel and Jacob Adams. They're still working together, but they've lost that main pack.
That may be intentional, that may not be. All the way at the latter end of the field, we have the 5 of Jeff Wright, 57 Simon Thorns, completely out of harm's way, half a lap down. But up front, still have about 4 drivers running the top, but everything is under the control of Bronson Stafford right now.
So with the 75% fuel, what are you kind of thinking pit strategy, Corey?
Pit strategy. I want to say probably on the better end of about 30 laps, but we will find that out together because I don't really have much confidence in that opinion.
So we may have to pit before the end of the stage. Maybe. We don't know.
If it's 30 laps, I'm going to say that is going to be really, really, really close. But that's my guess. We covered a couple leagues before, and usually about a 50% fuel limit would take them to about lap 20. So if we kind of just do some mathematics, I'm going to say I'm relatively comfortable about 30 laps, but that is assuming we go green.
Which, with how single file everything is right now, I would not be surprised to see it go green.
Yes, we will see if that does happen, as they are already on lap number 6, about to take lap number 7. You can see here the outside lane, they are not giving up on it. They are trying there. Cole Bagunia in the 12 is the first one in line. He is in front of Ryan Hartz, who was leading that pack for many a lap. So 12 has gotten side by side with Chuck Sweeting. That is for the 7th spot. We'll see if they can manage to get further ahead. They are...
Oh, 1 car on the wall. Now down on the apron. Oh, up and
Justin
over.
Munsell upside down. 22 Justin Munsell upside down in turn 2. Managed to get back on all 4 wheels, but we'll go back on PTR TV replay and see if we can find out what happened to the 22. He's running in the high groove right now, and there was a 98 of Michael DeGros. It looks like he was loose.
Looks like someone got into the back of him and it got him a little bit loose.
Try to get a better angle of that from the blimp cam here. Michael DeGroat got tapped by the 19 machine, and that just kind of caused a little bit of a checkup. That was a great job by DeGroat to save that machine, but then that the aid of Jacob Adams kind of made the situation even worse for the 22 and up and over. But I do believe, and you can confirm, Evan, I believe we have backup cars tonight.
Yes, there is one backup car or fast repair.
Obviously, that will be getting used by the number 22 at least, perhaps even the 8.
To the 8 as well, most likely.
But this puts us behind the iRacing pace car for the first time tonight under race conditions here as we come through turn number 3. And given what we're expecting for a fuel load, Evan, I would expect pit road to be a busy place.
If they can go 30 laps, this caution will just help them to be able to make it. So we might see quite a few drivers stay out and just wait to the stage end.
That is indeed if our estimate is accurate.
Which it's probably not.
Probably not, but if it is...
looks like they're staying out. Nick Massey thinking about it, coming down pit road. Colagunia, Ryan Hartz.
Yeah, so it looks like from about 4th on back, everyone is deciding to come to the attention of their crews. Gonna leave Stafford and Kenny, Taryn, Josh Adams, Doug George, Frank Hartley Jr., Michael DeGroat, and Cody Tabor. 8 drivers stay on track. It is worth noting that it's the 46 of Tyler Hensley, who it's a late entry into the race, is now in the race, although 7 laps down, but he is on the racetrack. Did not talk about weather conditions here today at Daytona, so what the drivers are dealing with tonight, weather conditions are overcast and 75 degrees, 80 on the track, about a 12-mile-an-hour wind.
Pretty cloudy day out here in Daytona. So that's just going to help these drivers with the grip, a little bit colder track.
Yeah, so we'll see if that does carry on, and let's see if that does make the inside maybe a little dominant, because if the inside, sometimes we do see here on restrictor plate tracks that we do know with the iRacing dynamic tracks, sometimes the bottom line actually does kind of lose its edge a little bit at the end of these races, even on the plate tracks. But with the clouds, I think that the inside may prevail, but I hope I'm wrong on that.
Usually to see handling issues, it'll take about 40 laps. And then the inside lane, sometimes will start to get up where it will push on corner X and you'll slide up into the guy on your outside, or you'll have to lift.
Well, so we'll see if that happens, and if the hopefully we can get some double file racing going on, have a good race for the fans here tonight, have a good race for us in the booth and the drivers alike behind the seats of those cars, as they are still ticking off some pace laps here. So again, another season of Hardline. We will only be covering them on Fridays this season. We did cover Contender Series, which is their Xfinity development league, if you will, and then covered Fridays last season. We will only be doing Fridays, but a full week of content here on Primetime Racing TV with our podcast show on Monday nights live on the channel, the Racer's Mind. We have our new league, the Integrity Racing League, American Sim Racing Series on Tuesdays, Rivalry Racing on Thursdays, and then of course Hardline on Friday. So as of now, we're free on the weekends, probably are going to keep it like that. So all your sim racing needs during the week, again, stay tuned to this channel. Actually have a really interesting show planned for Monday night. Interesting, we already have some topics that we are working on, and we had our Primetime Racing TV Pro Driver Clash in early February, and we've had some people asking for some kind of similar special events, and we listened and we will provide. We have an announcement to make on that regard for our next series of events we will be offering, so stay tuned to that on Monday nights. But that is the 1 to go signal, lights out on the pace car, so we will finally get back racing.
Pretty long caution there, but now the drivers are getting doubled up once again, and Bronson Stafford looks like he's going to take the outside for this restart.
Now perhaps an alliance there with the 88 of Joshua Adams.
It's probably because his teammate will be right next to him, Corey.
Well, that could be a thing too. They're going to have to finagle this restart so that they get one in front of the other.
But did that on the initial start, and that worked out pretty well for them, so we'll see if they can do it here once again.
But do you think that the drivers behind them now may be knowing what's going on and might try to break that up?
We'll find out.
I would be more inclined, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I would just want to be nose to tail with my teammates, but I am usually wrong, so it doesn't surprise me. Here we come through 3 and 4, getting ready to take the restart on lap number 12, so Evan, take it away.
Coming out of turn number 4, pace car getting ready to pull down into pit road. Bronson Stafford, Robert Kinney once again in the front row as the pace car pulls down into pit road, waiting for the green flag. There it is. We were back underway here at Daytona.
Gonna get another coordinated start by the front row. 61 is able to clear by quite a bit there, and they're gonna pull a gap of about 3 cars over the Joshua Adams.
88 had no help, but now he gets down in front of the 38 of Shane Taryn. So now already about all of the top 5 single file.
And Taryn and Josh Adams, they are running 3rd and 4th now with Doug George in the 21 behind that, Michael DeGroat in the 98 behind that, and then that is where the outside lane begins with Frank Hartley Jr. and Thomas Bresci.
Then Cody Tabor up there in the 3rd lane. Looks like, is he trying to get to the back?
Well, he's going to have a hard time getting there because there are a couple of drivers behind him that look like they want to make that top groove work, but on the front end of the field, it doesn't look like anyone besides Hartley and Bresci want to make the top work. I'm going to take that back because there goes Jeff Wright in the 5. He's going to be the 3rd man up top, seeing if they can get some momentum built up there.
See, I expect most of these drivers to get down to the bottom as soon as they can, but we will see as Bresci now has an opening. He could get down, but he's going to stay up there in the outside lane for now.
Yeah, Jeff Wright in the 5, he wants to help out up there, you can tell, but at the same time, it does look like he's timid and trying to... Oops, car in the wall.
Oh, big wreck.
Chuck Sweeting in the 26. The 8 of the 9 rather, Rusty Capel.
No
we
caution.
stay green.
Caution's out now.
Go back on replay here, see what we can figure out. See, we're a little bit late on that. You're following 26, who got hit.
Just turned into the outside wall.
Bumper
Just a
hook.
little, yeah, bumper hook there.
Bumper hook by the 95 of Matthew Bell. On board here with the 26, and you don't want to bump in the turns because these cars do not have the stability in the turns when they do get contact, and that is indeed the end result when that happens. We will recollect behind the iRacing pace car here. They are trying to find it on the racetrack right now as they come through 1 and 2. Stafford is trying to catch up and align the field here under yellow flag.
Joshua Adams up to the 3rd position after starting back in 20th. Good Good job by him to get up here through the field with... Usually at Daytona, we see it's pretty hard to pass in these Cup cars.
Yeah, it is, and Josh Adams usually a front runner in this series. Not sure if he won last season, but I know he was in good position, always having good runs, so expect nothing other than that by him again this season, as we will be over halfway through the stage when they do hit the stripe this time by. So given that some drivers pit last time, others stayed out, we'll see what the strategy is with the pit lane this time by.
I'd say most drivers will stay out, but we will see.
It's like Bresci is really low, DeGroat is low, Jeff Wright looks like he's going to be the Lone Ranger.
See, and then
the
damaged cars, yeah. The 9 of Rusty Cable and the 8 of Jacob Adams.
So we will take this opportunity here to take a break here for our first commercial break of the race. So we will be right back with you for the restart. So again, stay with us here on PTR TV.
Welcome back to PTR TV's coverage of the Hardline Racing League Midwest Power Source Cup Series Dirty Air Studios 200 here at Daytona. Just past halfway through this stage, Bronson Stafford and Robert Kenny will be leading the field coming back to the arena.
Yes, they are. So we've seen a couple restarts thus far, and the 61 always takes the outside and is setting himself up to get right in front of his teammate in the 10. We'll expect that to happen yet again this time by. As we come through the beginning of the trial here, pace car is in. Green flag in the air, we're back racing.
61 once again clearing for the lead, dropping down in front of his teammate, the 10 of Robert Kenny. And Shane Tarrant is all alone up there in the outside of the lane, quite a ways back to the next driver up there, Michael DeGroat. Now tearing down to the inside lane.
Everyone is single file throughout the first 10 positions. Nick Massey in the 48 is the first driver who is still up top right now. He does have a little bit of help right now. I can't see who that is from this angle.
It's like the 22 Justin Munsell up there helping out Nick Massey.
And that is it. Everybody else is ringing around the inside of the racetrack right now, trying to perhaps kill some laps off until they need to start battling for the stage.
Yeah, Massey is all alone up there now. The 22 dropped back down to the inside lane.
So up front, it has been Stafford leading every single lap tonight, yet not a single lead change as of yet. And this is exactly what he wants to see. Everybody just riding in a conga line around the old line.
But how long can they do this? Because here in 10.5 laps, there will be stage points being given out.
Yeah, they will have to. Well, Evan, in this car, you kind of have a little more on track time than I do. How soon, let's say you're in the 4th position, how soon do you have to try to make anything happen to have a shot at the stage win? Like, how many positions can you gain in 10 laps with the draft
Depends
package?
on how much help you get. If you get enough help, you could go from 4th to 1st in 1 lap.
Score the victory?
Exactly. If you don't have much help, you can go from 4th to last in 1 lap. It's all about how much help you can get, how many people you can get to go with you.
And that is the lottery question, because you never know. You may see someone in your mirror who looks like they're going to go up top and help you. You can see Michael DeGroat kind of had a peek up there, but as soon as you think someone might come up there, they might just drop to the bottom, and you're all the way back to the end of the train.
That's the difference between the Cup cars and Xfinity cars. With the Xfinity cars, you could have a 10-car pack in the bottom, and if you get 2 or 3 guys in the outside lane, if they work well enough together, they can take the lead away. You need probably a few more cars in the outside lane than on the bottom in the Cup cars to get to work. That's how this draft package is.
Yeah, it is a lot harder to get that kind of racing, if not near impossible, compared to the other machines on the iRacing service, the other NASCAR fleet of vehicles. You can see here behind Bagunia, I'm not sure if he's doing it for air or if he's doing it just to see who is going to bite, but that number 98 machine on the straightaways is really kind of taking a peek to the outside, maybe biting to see if there's interest up there, but there is none.
More than likely, those front 2 cars are going to stay hooked up until at least 1 to go in this stage, I would think. So, if you want to pass them, you're going to have to pass at least both of them if you want to get this stage win.
But up front with both of them, let's spin it around. Does Robert Kenny in the 10 want to give away any stage points and just allow his teammate to get the stage victory?
That's what I'm saying. He'll probably wait till the white flag, and then teammates are no longer teammates.
So we'll see, obviously, how that happens. There'll still be 7 laps, I believe 6 to go in the stage this time by. You can see there is a little bit of a gap in between packs right now. Looks like Briar LaPrade in the 19 is tagging on to the back of Simon Thorns in the 57, and then there's about a second back to Jeff Wright and about 4 other machines now, so you can see some damage to a few of them.
Looks like Cole Begunia kind of trying to stick his nose out there, see if anyone will go with him. No one going with him for the moment.
Yeah, we saw DeGroat do that, and maybe that would have been an opportunity to go with Begunia if there's interest there, but you see a little bit of an internet issue with him. Maybe that is a deterrent for anybody to go up to the top. Bressi with a little bit of a look. Do these drivers have anything to worry about, Evan, with regards to their radiators and their temperatures in those engines?
You can a little bit, but you really can't get right on someone's back bumper in these cars with this package, so you don't have to worry about it too much unless the guy in front of you is dragging his brakes so you can bump him. And now the 21 of Doug George and everyone behind Shane Tarrant moving up to that outside lane. This is exactly what they needed, but now Thomas Bressi leading the group back down to the bottom.
Yeah, Bressi maybe wanted to help them out, but he saw the opportunity to gain some positions on the inside lane, so he just says, I'm going to go fill that gap in. But Doug George in the 21, he's pulled alongside the third place machine. That is the number 88 of Joshua Adams. And here they come trying to get alongside those team cars up front.
5 laps to go in this stage, and 21 Doug George may just barely be on the right rear quarter panel of Robert Kennedy. No, not anymore. And 4 cars out there in the outside lane, they're going to drop back.
Yeah, there was a little bit of hope up there, but that hope is gone right now. You can see the 12 of Begunia has lost connection with the number 21 of Doug George, so that will kill all the momentum that they did have. So kind of surprising that the 88 or the 38 hasn't hopped up to the top and tried to take advantage of that outside momentum.
I think they're just going to try and wait as long as they can before moving up there.
Right now that lane has fizzled. Now it's down to 2 drivers and they are single file after that, so we will see what happens here as the stage coming to a close. And still nothing has changed up front. You can see the tight drafting going on between Stafford and Kenny. He was bumping him down the straightaways, but you can see the room that he does give him throughout the turn. Obviously we saw what happens when you bump draft in the turn, so those teammates making sure they take care of each other's cars.
Coming to 3 laps to go in this stage. Still only those 3 cars up there in the outside lane. Pit road has just been closed for the remainder of the stage.
So for the remaining laps, these drivers will have to remain on the speedway. No pitting for any kind of strategic purposes at this point. Here comes Doug George again on the outside with the help from Begunia in the 12. Will anybody up front take the dive, move up to the top, take the momentum for the outside? As we come to 2 to go in the stage, still no bites on the outside groove.
So here coming to 2 to go is when these drivers are going to have to start making their moves if they're going to. But now Cole Begunia back down to the inside lane. So just that 21 of George up there on the outside. 2 to go.
A lot different, Evan, than what we saw in the duels, where drivers were really racing at the end of those at the end of the stages, where it seems everyone is really mellow and really content with their running order.
Now, will that keep up, or here in the next lap, will we see more drivers moving up to that outside lane?
There's only so much that you could do in one lap, so to really wait this long, I really can't see any kind of surges happen from anybody farther back than third, but we will find out in 1 lap's time, as this is the white flag in stage number 1.
Bressi up and over. Big wreck down the front stretch.
Doug George in the 21, Thomas Bressi in the 24. It's Justin Munsell again, that's his backup car, so we didn't actually make it to the stage. We will end the stage right now, but let's go see what caused that wreck on replay. Following Thomas Bressi in the 24, it looks like where it started. Oh, there it is. Either he turned up or the 21 turned down, and
I think it's a bit of both.
We'll go on board here with Doug George on his onboard cam and see if we can try to establish which end it was on. I'm going to go with the 24 moving up, but that's a very tight call to make.
Yeah, 24 moved up and the 21 came down just a little bit. So like you said, Corey, tough call.
So the stage winner will be our pole sitter, which is Bronson Stafford, who's at this point trying to bat a perfect game right now. Well, pitch a perfect game, rather. Has led every single lap, but I have a interesting feeling that he may not lead every lap in this race. I feel like there's going to be some kind of strategy going on with this stage pitting strategy.
And here they come down pit road. They cannot make it from here, we think.
And there were other drivers. Justin Munsell will stay out, and he scored the leader. So
he's not going. Stafford will not be able to lead every single lap.
Nope.
Looks like 4 drivers will stay out: Justin Munsell, Jeff Wright, Jacob Adams, and Cody Tabor.
For Justin Munsell, I'm assuming, Evan, from that last wreck, he's on his backup car, so him staying out, I assume he literally just wanted to get this lap led. And
well, we can hope he's going to come to pit road this time.
We can, and we can also hope maybe he didn't use his backup car last time, but if he stays out...
I think he went up and over last time, so, or the first time, so I'm pretty confident he used his backup car.
I mean, unless he's Dale Earnhardting 1997, I mean, I would assume you're correct, he's on his backup car, and I would also assume he would not restart the race in that current condition, but I mean, we have not seen a driver stay out at a race with a car like that. So effectively your leader right now will be Jeff Wright under normal circumstances.
Looks like he did use his backup car.
And there he does come to pit lane,
as well as Jacob Adams and Cody Tabor, so that will hand the lead over to Jeff Wright.
This will mean that Jeff Wright is the only driver on the lead lap who did not pit during the stage. Also worth noting that we mentioned earlier, Tyler Hensley, who was a late entry into the race, started the race 7 laps down. He's gotten 3 of them back. So, depending how chaotic the rest of the race is, there's a chance that 46 could be back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I could definitely see another 4 cautions and him getting back on the lead lap.
So again, we are covering race 1, the Dirty Air Studios 200 here for the Hardline Midwest Power Source Cup Series. Their schedule here for this season is going to be an interesting one. Includes tracks such as Rockingham. Haven't seen that track on too many schedules. A very difficult racetrack, but a fun one to drive, and that'll most certainly be an interesting race to cover. Going to Las Vegas, Michigan, Phoenix, Dover, Indy. Actually going to Mossport in the Cup car, if I am reading this correctly, so that'll be an interesting one.
That'd be fun.
From which perspective?
Driver perspective.
Cup car at Mossport. I have trouble driving that.
That sounds so much fun. The trucks are so much fun there, Corey.
I have so much trouble running that trucks at Mossport, but it's mainly turn 2, which is the hard left-hander down the hill. If me keeping it on the speedway happens about 1 out of every 15 tries, but also in mid-July we are going to the Charlotte Roval, which will be interesting.
If that is out in time.
There is an asterisk because that. Obviously, we are on one to go, but iRacing has already scanned their updated version of the Roval there at Charlotte, and it is on the NASCAR Peak schedule, and it is apparently on an expedited process to get built into the service. So assuming that they have the updated model, we will be going there. But if not, that will be changed. But that will be an interesting race, obviously. And we will be ending the season at Atlanta in mid-August. So a long 20-week season of racing here for the Hardline Racing League. And we will be covering every week here on the channel. But new leader up front, Jeff Wright on the inside. It'll be Josh Adams in second on the outside. Cole Begunia in third. And those team cars that were up front, Stafford and Kenny, will be both starting front to back on the outside groove.
I think those are the first two drivers that did take 4 tires. So we'll see if that comes into effect. I really don't think it will. But coming out of turn number 4, getting ready to come to the green. Waiting for the pace car to pull down into pit road. There it goes. Waiting on the green. And we are back underway here at Daytona.
Very big jump by the 5 machine of Jeff Wright as we come through the tri-oval here, entering turn number 1. He has about a 2-car length lead over Begunia in the 12. The 88 is on the outside lane. The 88 with the help from Bronson Stafford, the pole sitter who led every lap prior to that yellow. Here comes the outside with the runoff, turn number 2.
Now going down the back straightaway, 88 of Joshua Adams side by side for the lead with Jeff Wright. Outside lane starting to drop back just a little bit now. Cole Begunia doing a really nice job of pushing that 5.
Cole Begunia is indeed pushing the 5 machine, and it's also worth noting on our stint graphic here, we can see here who has been on the track for how many laps. The 5 machine has been out for 18 laps. We only expect about 30 in the tank for these drivers. So if he goes another 8 laps of it, that puts him in the window to make it to the end. But is anybody...
He'll be pitting by himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he going to be able to talk anybody else into pitting that early?
I do not think he will be able to. It's now Cole Begunia thinking about taking a look to the outside. Nope, right back down to the bottom.
Yeah, so up front, that outside groove, as we've seen all race, it is kind of no man's land. You don't want to be up there unless it's really you have a lot of people up there. Right now you don't. You only have the 88 and the 61. Team car to the 61, Robert Kenny, has lost the draft on the top. He is all the way to, where is that on the speedway right now? In the 12th position. It's in line behind Doug George.
Bronson Stafford still waiting to get down to the bottom lane. Joshua Adams in front of him has gotten down there, so Bronson is all alone.
Stafford will get into line all the way in the 9th position, but that's not finalized. He's still getting freight trained. Choo-choo to the back of the train. Now he's back to the 10th position as Bressie gets by. Doug George will drop him back to the 11th spot. Your pole sitter is going to be in a very difficult position, but he might be able to get in line. In fact, his teammate will most certainly let him in here.
Yeah, looks like his teammate is dragging the brake just a little bit, stacking that second pack up, trying to allow Stafford to get down into the bottom lane. There he goes. So now we'll see if those team cars can work their way back up to the front.
Cody Tabor in the 2 had a little bit of an evasive maneuver there all the way to the back of the field as he's on the outside. Frank Hartley Jr. to his outside, Rusty Capel and company. Tabor will drop to the back.
All single file except for Cody Tabor up there in the outside lane.
We have seen of it a few times, especially earlier in the race. We saw a couple examples of cars losing the draft. Is that a worry here of Tabor falling into no man's land?
I think so, and we've seen him lose the draft a few times already tonight. It looks like he will once again, as he is pretty far off of the back bumper of Simon Thorns.
Hartley Jr. here is really all over the back of the 95.
Cole Begunia taking a look for the lead. He has no help, but he is side by side for the lead down the back straightaway.
That is an impressive bit of driving to be able to get up there by himself, but that's a very short.
He's going to drop back.
Very short-lived maneuver as Michael DeGroat will fill the gap into the 98 PTR TV car. Our buddy Michael DeGroat in the field now in the second position, and some shaking and baking at the back end of the field here. Not sure what's going on, but they're 3 wide.
Looking to see who that is up there. Simon Thorne's up top 3 wide. It's going to allow Cody Taylor to catch back up. He will no longer be losing the draft.
That will spread the field out just a little bit. But Begunia is still the Lone Ranger up top, and as these laps tick off, this is closer and closer to the required pit stop Jeff Wright's going to have to make. He does not have a lot of fuel left in that machine.
Yeah, probably within about 7 laps or so, he will have to come down to pit road, and more than likely, no one will come with him.
But the more I think about that, Evan, this is halfway this time by. We're taking lap number 40. He goes 7 laps. That puts him with 33 to go. That is out of the fuel window. So he really. We think.
We do not know for sure how far they can go. We are just guesstimating.
Emphasis on guess.
Estimating.
Nick Massey in the 48. I saw a little bit of movement out of him as if he's trying to go into the outside lane right now. He's right behind Shane Tarrant in the 38, right to the back bumper, but no movement being made. Stays directly in line. 61 machine is following Doug George, and Begunia still has not managed to get himself back to the inside lane.
Yeah, he's back into the 12th position, about to lose 3rd. If Jacob Adams can get by him, it looks like he will.
13th.
13th.
Oh, here we go. We're turning. Chuck Sweeting.
No caution. He's going to be down in the grass.
Solo car spin by the number 26.
3 wide.
Quickly going to show what happened to the number 26 machine. Looks like he just got bumped in the tri-oval there, but he got bumped twice by, I can't quite tell who that was. I think it was the 19 machine just spun Sweeting in the tri-oval. But up front,
it's really spread the field out. Joshua Adams going up to the outside lane. Jeff Wright trying to block 3 wide.
DeGroat to the bottom, but Joshua Adams went to the middle with the help from Shane Tarrant and Nick Massey. Is the 5 out of fuel? Is he sputtering, or is he just has no help?
No, it's just he got so far ahead with that checkup. They had such a huge run on him.
So now,
looks like now Nick Massey's gonna be dropping back.
But now new leader, the number 88 machine of Josh Adams has the lead. Shane Tarrant into the 2nd position. DeGroat back to 3rd. Massey now leading the top with the help from Begunia. No, Begunia's been up top for this entire run. Bronson Stafford and Kenny also working the top behind them.
Michael DeGroat trying to get up in front of Nick Massey, not quite able to.
See here, we have a couple packs in the long shot. We have 2 cars running by themselves right now. Then we have a couple cars after that. Those 2 cars by themselves. They are the 3 of Ryan Hart's, and I believe that's the 46 a lap down. And then we have a couple cars behind that, led by Frank Hartley Jr. and Cody Tabor. So a couple of different races going on, but up front, 88 still has the lead, but the 48's gaining some time.
Yeah, Nick Massey up there with help from Cole Begunia. Now dropping back just a little bit. It's Jeff Wright now up there, as well as Thomas Bresci, Doug George. Quite a few cars up there in the outside lane now.
22 of Justin Munsell with that extremely damaged machine, just cruising some laps. They will funnel below him 3 wide for a brief moment. 36 laps to go at Daytona Dirty Air Studios 200. The number 88 is your leader. Looks like the 48's lost his momentum up there.
Yeah, Begunia finally now able to get back down to the bottom. So Nick Massey will now have help from the 5 of Jeff Wright. Cole Begunia back up in front of Massey now. That's going to stack the outside up just a little bit, and now Cole Begunia back down to the bottom.
But Evan, we have to wait. We have to wonder. The number 5 machine's been out there for nearly 30 laps. His pit stop is going to be very soon.
Yeah, 29 laps now on that number 5 machine. So he's got to come probably about 3 or 4 laps, I would think, if not sooner.
Yeah, I mean, he would love to be able to go to lap number 50, but I just don't think that's in the cards for him in terms of the fuel mileage game. So he's going to be most likely on a 2-stop race unless we do have a yellow flag, as the 48, who was going for the lead a little bit earlier, will go all the way to the end of the conga line.
Now 30 laps on that number 5 machine.
Now, albeit there were a good amount of those that were run under yellow, so I'm very curious to see how far he can stretch it. But I'll tell you, Evan, those 2 team cars, they haven't managed to go anywhere. Obviously, nobody is wanting to help, but the 61 and the 10, they are mired back there and kind of stuck now.
Yeah, now they're separated. They got Nick Massey in between them.
Lap number 47 on the board, and Josh Adams is up front still. Taryn in second, DeGroat in third. 12 of Begunia is in fourth. Briar LaPrade in the 5th position. We'll kind of give you a little bit of a quick field rundown right now. The 6th position is Doug George in the 21. Jeff Wright in the 5 machine in 7th. Thomas Bresci in 8th. Bronson Stafford in 9th. Nick Massey in 10th. And then rounding out the lead pack in the number 11th position is Robert Kenny. Been waiting to see if the 5 breaks to pit road. He does not. Jacob Adams is in 12th. Ryan Hartz is in 13th. Rusty Capelback in 14th, leading the 3rd pack right now. Simon Thorne's in 15th. Frank Hartley Jr. with some pretty heavy damage running in the 16th position. Then Matthew Bell 17th. Cody Tabor running in 18th. 1 lap down in that modified looking machine is Justin Munsell, and then Tyler Hensley in the 20th position. 4 laps down, where he was late entry, trying to see if he can get some laps back. Chuck Sweeting, after that incident with that spin, has taken it behind the wall.
Yeah, Chuck Sweeting, the only driver to go behind the wall. Everyone else is still out there on track. Jeff Wright now coming to 33 laps.
So he's at the point, and again, Evan, the most important part that we don't have in front of
cautions.
us. Yeah.
How many cautions there were? How many caution laps there have been?
So we don't know exactly. I'm going to go with a guess of at least 8 probably during his time. We can pull up here on the overlay. We've run 11 cautions under this race, under 11 caution laps in this race under the 3 cautions we've had. So I'm going to go with probably 7 to 8 of those laps have been under caution. So if he can make it another 2 laps, he should be golden. Maybe 3 to 4 would be more ideal, but at least 2, I think he may be able to stretch it. But again, is anyone going to go with him this early?
Some of these drivers, they might want to come down pit road as soon as they can just to get it out of the way, and then let everything else cycle through, but we will find out, as the window should open this lap.
And it all depends what strategy you want to take, who you're working with. If they want to go with you that lap, we at least know 2 drivers that are working together in this race, so we know those drivers will be on pit road, the 61 and the 10, but what other deals are being worked on right now in the race? See if any breaks to the inside are made. None are happening.
Jeff Wright.
Jeff Wright. And what do you know?
He spins
Whoa!
out.
Into
He
the
saved
grass.
it, kind of.
Not yet. He did save it, technically. We're going to go on board here and watch that evasive maneuvering. Very late on the binders there. He was.
He did get it down to pit road speed. He went through the grass, but he did get it down to pit road speed.
So,
Probably got an unsafe pit entry though. We will find out. No, he did not.
oh, so really no harm,
He
no
didn't
foul.
waste any time.
No harm, no foul, besides the fact that he has no help. But as things have kind of strung out, we're going to go to a side-by-side break right here. We'll be back with you if anything happens or if pit stops do occur in the meantime, so stay with us. And we're back racing here on PTR TV, back from the side-by-side break. You didn't miss too much, other than we did see Jeff Wright go one lap down. Not of much surprise, as he did have a pit stop by himself under green. But the pit window is open here, 25 laps to go, and what do you know, here they come down pit lane.
It's like
Josh Adams.
6 cars coming to pit road. Ryan Hart's maybe in the grass. Is that who that is? Yes. Ryan Hart's in the grass.
As Josh Adams is in the pits, but Ryan Hart's, as you said, Evan, we'll go back quickly and try to watch his pit incident there on entry. See, he just locked him up and did a good job avoiding everybody, but just completely missed the pit entry and missed the cone and everything, so he will have a penalty most likely from that via iRacing. But up front,
looks like Thomas Bresci will win that race off pit road. He came out ahead of Joshua Adams.
but Michael DeGroat was scored the leader last time by, but Cole Begunia does have the help of Brian LaPrade up top right now, and Doug George. So that is the lead change up front. The 5 machine is working with them, but he is not on the lead lap.
Looks like Doug George will be left out to dry up there in the outside lane. These drivers are going to have to come down pit road probably this lap, because they're going to lose quite a bit of time, just the 5 of them.
Yeah, I would definitely take that as the right call to make, but we'll see if it is indeed made by them here. Down the back straightaway, it'll be, oh, a little bit of contact was that between the 5 and the 21, it looks like. But it will leave Jeff Wright out to dry. And Michael DeGroat, I thought he was going to
Thinking about it.
It's almost as if he was waiting for them to make the call, but no one did, so they will stay on the speedway for another lap. Well, let's try to get reference of other cars on track right now. Rusty Capel, Simon Thorns, Frank Hartley Jr. running by themselves right now.
The good thing... Go ahead.
Sorry, Ryan Hartz after his incident behind them, but trying to get reference Josh Adams here on the back straightaway.
I was going to say the good thing with them is the pack that already pitted, they are not together at all. They are all spread out and racing. So that is going to be good for the drivers that have not pitted yet.
Yeah, we'll try to get a little bit of a reference on lap times right now. Omit a couple that are off, but you can see the 19:45.7. That is Briar LaPrade, who's still on the track, and Josh Adams, a 46.7. So you can tell the difference between a tight draft and kind of racing. They are significantly separated on the lap chart.
So when will these drivers come down the pit road? Can I have turn 2 now?
That second pack, led by Adams, they just really shuffled themselves in the line right now, so they should start running better laps with that tighter draft. Thomas Bressie still stuck to the outside, but again, we wait for them to pit. They have a 40-second lead over those other drivers, so I don't know, is that enough for them to stay in the right position if they nail their pit stops?
Well, looks like Joshua Adams and those drivers spent about 30 seconds in pit lane, so that should be a pretty good lead for them.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
If they can nail it.
It takes a lot more than 10 seconds to get back up to speed, so if they were only in the pits for 30 seconds, I would probably estimate it would be 15 to 16 seconds combined, so that's assuming that. But also think of it this way, Evan, the longer they stay out, the less fuel they need, so theoretically the shorter their pit stops could be, especially if they don't take tires.
True.
So if they don't take tires and maybe they only need 1 can of fuel, they realistically could only have like a 6-second pit stop, and that could maybe even things out a little bit.
They're running about the same lap times, it looks like. Looks like the pack that has already pitted is about a 10th or so quicker, but it kind of depends on the lap.
Simon Thorns, Frank Hartley Jr., Rusty Capel all on pit road right now. That was the kind of the damaged pack right there.
And here comes that first pack down on the pit road.
Let's see if everyone in that pack can get on pit road cleanly. It did appear
looks like they will.
Now the big question, what will their pit stops be? What will they do? And how long will they be on pit road for? As the jacks go up, or perhaps they don't.
The gas cans go in. Looks like a few drivers taking tires.
Gourmets took tires, but a 9-second stop from DeGroat.
Looks like Joshua Adams is coming out of turn number 4 now in that lead pack.
Michael DeGroat had the best pit stop of the group, only had about a 9 seconds, so he obviously took less, or had less service done to that number 98 machine. We'll see how he does merge back out. See here, the pack is now entering turn number 1 as DeGroat's coming off turn number 2, so he will get the whiff of the draft, but I don't know if he can hang on to it. He might be able to, actually.
He should be able to hang on to the draft.
But Doug George, he's already lost it.
Oh! 3 wide.
Bronson, 4 wide. Stafford, contact made.
They keep it straight.
Pretty good, pretty heavy damage now to that 98 machine. Let's go back on replay. Try to see what happened there as everyone was merging and trying to pass each other. You could see, looks like Begunia took a 3 wide there to the outside of DeGroat. That pushed him into the 61 of Stafford into the Kenny. But ultimately, the number 98 got the damage off of that, so big change in dynamic there, but this will give the 88 the lead with Shane Taryn, Jacob Adams, and Nick Massey the top 4.
Yeah, and that is it's only 4 cars up there in the lead pack, then Robert Kinney and Thomas Bresci up there in the second pack.
And I don't think, well, Nick Massey, the question's going to be, is he going to fall into the back? It looks like he will fall off the lead pack, maybe into the clutches of these drivers, I do believe. And then it'll kind of be 3 on 3. Then behind Bresci, we have Bronson Stafford, the pole sitter, who is now by his lonesome, so he will fall all the way back to the clutches of Cole Bagunia, who is working with the damaged machine of the now damaged machine of Michael DeGroat. And then we have Briar LaPrade in 10th and the 21 of Doug George in 11th. And those are the only drivers within any kind of chance to win this race at the moment. Jeff Wright, remember him with his alternate pit strategy, running completely by himself now in 12th, 15 seconds off the lead. And we have our third pack now, Matthew Bell, Ryan Hartz with his missed pit entry, Simon Thorns, Frank Hartley Jr., and Rusty Capel. That 17 drivers is the lead lap drivers right now.
Now about 6 drivers up here in this lead pack. The tail end of that being the 24 of Thomas Bresci.
As you can see, this is 6 drivers up front right now in this lead battle. As the laps tick away, we are at 15 laps to go in the race. Pole sitter Bronson Stafford, who led the first, I believe, 40 laps of this race, is going to need some serious change of events and a yellow flag to get a chance at it, because now the race is in the hands of Josh Adams, and it's going to take some serious teamwork and cooperation by the guys behind him to take him out of the victory lane at this point.
See, still all single file for the top 6. Looks like there may have been a crash. Yeah, 95 of Matthew Bell on the backstretch, as well as Simon Thorns. Kind of spun to the inside, but they were able to save it, and it's going to keep it clean and green. Nice job by both of those drivers to keep it straight.
Yeah, I think we can perhaps grab it here on replay. Cut me off, Evan, if anything does occur, but we're watching Matthew Bell with Ryan Hart pushing him on replay here. Simon Thorns is running to the inside as they enter turn number 1. Thorns is getting a run to the inside, and you can see that contact there in the left rear from Thorns to Bell, and they both slide through the Daytona, kind of the runoff pavement to the inside there. And oh, that was a great bit of driving on both of them. Cost them a lot of time, but they still have 2 race cars left. Back to live action now, but nothing has changed. Still top 6 running in single file formation. The laps do tick away, Evan. Now that we don't have those 2 team cars working together anymore, what do you expect? What are your predictions for how this is going to work?
Well, I think the top 4 are all team drivers, so
does look like Thomas Bresci. I think he's getting it back, but he is right on the cusp of I like to call it last car syndrome here. But I think he is being able to stay on it, but he did kind of lose the draft by about 3 car lengths there. Had me a little worried he was going to drop off the pack.
we'll see with now 11 laps to go when these drivers decide to make moves, and if we will see another caution.
At this point, the iRacing cutoff lap typically is about 5 to go, maybe even 6 to play it safe on a super speedway. So if any caution does occur at the latest with 5 to go, the race would end under yellow. So any caution would have to occur relatively quickly.
Probably within about the next 5 laps or so.
Everybody is done with pit stop, so might as well close the pits for the race, barring any kind of incident, because you will not have any reason to come to your pit crews. The race is in the driver's hands right now, and they will... It's going to be hard up front, harder than it already is, because when you only have 6 cars, it's really hard to get any kind of momentum built up with those few amount of cars in the draft.
Oh, what a contact there between Robert Kinney and Thomas Bressie.
This may lose a couple cars off the draft unless they can get it on their game right here.
Looks like Bressie just got into the back of Kinney just a little bit, and Kinney got really sideways, managed to hang on to it, but more than likely will lose this draft.
Because right now a 3/10 deficit in between Massey and Kenny, so I think they're gonna be okay, especially because the 10 does have help behind him. It does look like they will manage to hang on after all.
Looks like Massey may be laying back. I don't know if that's to try and help out Kinney and Bressie, but it is working.
Yeah, kind of, you know, lending out the proverbial rope there, just laying back just a little bit, letting them grab the rope, you know, suck them back in, and let's keep this pack going. But I'll tell you, with that little bit of action that went on, Bronson Stafford, with the help from Cole Begunia and Michael DeGroat, they did manage to gain a good amount of time. They're still about a second and a half off the back end of this field, but they might have a chance. Especially because now they're going to have Simon Thorns to draft off of as well. That may kind of give them a little bit of an extra assistance to shave off some more time.
Looks like they were about a 10th quicker last time by.
The gap is 1.8 seconds, but more importantly, between Stafford and Bressie is 1.3 seconds. If they can get it to within 7/10, they're pretty much there in terms of how the draft does work here on iRacing. But we are less than 10 to go. We are 3 laps away from the cutoff lap, so these drivers are going to have to make their moves and make them very quickly, Evan, so take your pick.
I think Josh Adams is going to bring it home. What's your pick, Corey?
I'm going to go I'm going to go with the number 8 machine. Thinking that there may be something going on up front. You may be able to evade both of them or make something happen against both of them while they're going at it. So I'm going to go with the 8. Type your picks in chat if you have a favorite or someone that you think is going to pull it out here tonight. Down the back.
Go ahead.
Down the back straightaway they come as they pass the slower car of Justin Munsell, still cruising along.
Coming to 6 laps to go at the line. Only 3 cars up there in that second pack. Did they lose a few drivers?
That does look like that there was about 5 or 6 drivers working in that second pack with Stafford, Begunia, and DeGroat. Simon Thorns was not able to hang on as a slower car. I thought he was going to be able to help them. But
they are definitely catching this lead back.
Briar LaPrade has lost the that draft of that pack. I believe that was one of the drivers, but as we said, Evan, I said it was about 7/10 is where they're going to start getting the run. To pull up the tracker here based on the 24, and it's only 0.8 of a second, so pretty much it's going to come down to the wire, but we're going to have 3 more cars in this pack.
Coming to 5 laps to go now. If these guys get racing, that will definitely bring that second pack up there.
And then that will give more cars, that will give more momentum, more lanes, or the opportunity to work, and will only help to hopefully give us a good finish here for you fans here tonight on PTR TV. So get ready for 4 laps of racing next time by. 4 laps to decide the season opener here tonight.
Gap still at about 0.8 from Bronson Stafford 2, Thomas Bressie.
They are most certainly getting the draft. They're getting the toe off the 24. I think he's purposely kind of backing off a little bit, ran a little high, is running a couple car lengths back. Maybe he's trying to assist in them to his own benefit.
Yeah, maybe he's thinking if they can get up there, he can go with them and lead that pack to the front.
Where he is right now, he's not really going to lend too much of a hand. They are within what I like to call the 7/10 bubble right now, so we'll see what kind of run they can get. And I think Bressie most certainly is laying off a little bit right now.
Yeah, and they're going to have Tyler Hensley now helping them out.
Looking back from Tyler Hensley here, you could see the run that Stafford has in the 61 machine. He has a head of steam. Is Hensley going to block it? Is he going to let him use it? Or is he going to try to lead the charge himself?
Well, he's a lap down, so I think Stafford is okay with working with him. But that really gave him a big boost.
But there's not a lot of time left. They need to go. They need to go right now. So Stafford's doing everything he can to push Hensley up front. Nothing has changed. No one's been able to make a move or has really even tried to.
They'll be coming to 2 to go, and this second pack is there. Under a half a second gap from Stafford to Bressie.
Up front, a little bit of looks going on by Tarrant to try to make something happen on Adams. Only 5 miles left in the race right now. 2 to go has been taken. We're going to enter turn number 1. Whatever deals were made, they are over with. These drivers need to go at it, make whatever they can happen to take home the win at Daytona. Bressie to the top.
And there they go. Bressie, Hensley, Stafford, all of that second pack.
Here comes
now
Jacob Adams. Nick Massey. Is he going to go to the top? Massey will go to the top. He's going to get to the right.
And there's Stafford back down to the bottom, 3 wide.
If they get to the stripe for 1 to go, the race will complete under the checkered flag.
They're coming up on the 25 of Frank Hartley.
They
4
made
wide.
White flag. The next flag will end the race, and that'll be the checkers. We stay green. They're upside down.
Nick Massey up and over.
But we stay green. The race is not over. They're racing back to the checkers.
Now the number 8 of Jacob Adams falling back in line.
Down the back straightaway, there's only 4 cars to make a move now, but here he comes to the outside. Shane Tarrant has the help from the number 10 of Robert Kenny down the back straightaway. They're leaving the 88 by himself. It's going to be a side-by-side duel for the win. Nobody to the bottom. 3 cars going for the win, maybe 4. Off of the final corner for the final time here tonight at Daytona. Who's going to get it? Tarrant has the edge with the run up top. He's going to clear to the bottom, and Shane Tarrant is going to win at Daytona.
Looks like Robert Kenny will come home in second, 5 thousandths of a second ahead of Joshua Adams, who came home in third.
Another exciting plate race here. We saw a huge wreck on the straightaway here leading to the 1 to go. We will check that after we get back from the commercial break for the post-race show, so stay with us. And we're back here on PTR TV, going to bring you the post-race show, but first we're going to kind of show you here that final wreck that we saw as they had just taken the white flag. See here as Adams is blocking the run from his brother on the top lane. Shane Tarrant gives a little bit of a nudge, but it looks actually Bresci and the 48 of Massey. You saw Massey sliding on his lid there. Bresci taking some serious damage, a couple other drivers, so that was the wreck. But we're gonna give you the post-race interview, and Evan Black is ready with your winner, Shane Tarrant, right now.
So, Shane, you won the duel last week. You win the Dirty Air Studios 200 this week. What are your thoughts after this race?
Man, that was awesome. I didn't even know what to expect. I really didn't want to make a move early, and then the 8 made a move. All team cars are 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you guys saw that. All 4 of us, and I wasn't gonna make a move. Then that wreck happened, so I let off and got a run. So I led 1 lap all race, so I'm pretty ecstatic.
On the white flag lap, did you think you were gonna have a shot at the victory?
When I saw the wreck in the tri-oval, my chances went from like 10% to like a 90. Because I was like, if I can get clear of the 8 coming off turn 2, I'm going to let off, get the air between me and the 88 and get a run, and it worked out perfectly.
So this is a pretty good way for you to start this season. Do you feel like it's going to help you throughout the rest of the season, having this momentum early?
I hope so. Yeah, I really do hope so. Hopefully I can not miss a race this season and continue to be good. I know I won this. Didn't win the championship last year, but I was in the championship race, so I hope to do that again.
Alright, well, is anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for broadcasting. I didn't have it on this time, but I'm going to go back and watch it. My teammates, Nick, Jake, Josh, we worked great together tonight, and obviously we had help from Bronson and Robert, and another shout out to Justin. Even though he got caught up in a wreck, he was going to work with us. And then my sponsor, Evo Controllers, we have iBuy Power, and I got the Navy on the side of my car as well.
Alright, well, once again, congrats on your victory here tonight at Daytona, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
And Corey will talk to second place finisher, Robert Kinney.
Alright, Bob, you finished second here tonight. You worked a good portion of the beginning of the race with your teammate, Bronson Stafford, but things obviously got shaken up there at the latter end of the race. But talk about how your race went overall and ultimately the wild finish that got you in a second.
Well, basically before the stage caution, me and my teammate Bronson, we had plans set out. He would, whenever we were on front row, he would take high side, just drop down in front of me, and we just pull line, just basically keep everybody behind us until the stage. And then after the stage, it was we would work with our friends over at Robbins Racing Motorsports until like about 10 to go to just keep us at the front of the pack. But obviously that didn't quite happen after green flag pit stops, because as we were flying by on the high side, we had a guy coming back up to speed from taking his green flag, got into the side of Bronson a bit, and damaged his left side. So I was basically just sitting 5th behind people we were working with, trying to get a win. But I really don't know what happened coming to the white flag. I just know that there was a lap car along the wall, and I'm guessing Bresci tried taking it 4 wide, and it didn't quite work out. But yeah, it was just coming to the line. It was just, who did I want to push to the win? Because being a 3rd car in line, you choose who wins. I was lucky enough to beat Josh to the line for 2nd.
Yeah, we know how the plate racing works. If you don't have the chance to win, as you said, you kind of have to just, who do I want to help out tonight? But you finished 2nd here today. You look forward to you're looking forward to next week. I know a lot of drivers always consider week 2 in a season the real start of the season. Going to Rockingham next week. What are your thoughts for next week's race?
Me personally, I haven't really raced at Rockingham that much, so I'm not expecting much out of me. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to a good season with Sky Motorsports again. just hopefully getting these top 5s and keep consistent finishes week after week.
All right, man. So 10-4 on that. But who do you want to give a shout out to tonight for your second place finish?
Just give a shout out to teammate Bronson Stafford. Tried working with him as much as I could until he got damaged. I'll shout out to simspeedshop.com for coming onto the car this season, and the guys over at Robbins Racing for being nice enough to work with a small team like us on these plate tracks.
All right, man. 10-4 on that. So again, congrats on the finish, and hopefully we'll talk to you later on this season.
Yeah, hopefully.
Now Evan will now talk to Josh Adams in third place.
So, Josh, you come home in third after absolutely dominating the second half of this race. What are your thoughts after the race here at Daytona?
I thought it was a really good race throughout. We worked really good with our teammates. I was kind of disappointed I didn't win, obviously, but my teammate won, and we worked really well together. So it was a really good race throughout.
You came from the back, starting back in 20th up to top 3 position, leading a lot of laps here in the middle portion of this race. Did you have many close calls getting up through there?
There was one instance, the 5 car was leading, and we came with a head of steam on the outside, and he blocked me. And I went to the middle, and I thought it was going to close up, but we were able to get, I think, me and Shane through the middle, and thought that was like the pass to the race right there.
On that white flag lap, did you think you were going to be able to hang on, or what was your thoughts?
I thought I had a really good shot at it until that wreck happened. I thought if the field would have stayed there and then Shane and Robert would have kind of just had to push me, I think we would have beat the top. But once that wreck happened and Jake lost the momentum on the top, it kind of just let those other guys train around me. So.
All right. Well, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, Shane, my teammate for winning the race. Nick and Jake, we all had good races. Sponsors iBoG, Evil. A new one that just came on for us, Collar and Elbow. So we led a lot of laps for them. So that was nice.
All right. Well, once again, congrats on your third place finish, and thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
All right, so that is your top 3 finishers here tonight, Taryn, Kenny, and Adam. So we will wrap up coverage tonight by giving you the final rundown here from Daytona International Speedway. But with the victory here tonight, as we spoke to, was Shane Taryn in the number 38 machine. Offer him our congratulations on his drive tonight. Robert Kenny in the 2nd position, then Josh Adams in 3rd. In the 4th spot, Jacob Adams, Bronson Stafford in 5th, Michael DeGroat in 6th, Doug George in 7th, Briar LaPratt in 8th, Thomas Bresci 9th, and rounding out your top 10 is Cole Bagugno.
Nick Massey finished in 11th after his massive last lap crash. Ryan Hart in 12th, Rusty Capel in 13th, Jeff Wright in 14th, Frank Hurwood Jr. in 15th, 7th Ordens in 16th, Matthew Bell in 17th, Justin Munsell in 18th, and then rounding out the rest of the field, Cody Tabor, Tyler Hensley, and then Chuck Sweeting finishing in 21st.
Alright, so to give a shout out to our channel sponsors here on PTR TV, I want to give a shout out to Air Movement Fabrications, a family run business established in 2012 with over 25 years of experience in the ventilation industry. They offer a wide variety of services including venting, ducting, extraction, and canopies. If you're in the Nottingham, UK area, Air Movement Fabrications is the ventilation specialist to trust. Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is P1. And we have iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, custom graphics, coding, and theme design for iRacing's 2 main overlay systems, ATVO and IRTVO. If you're a local broadcast company looking for custom overlays to make your channel shine, talk to Jason Allison with iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Also, a shout out to our camera specialist, TrackCams for Gourmets. If you like the views you saw tonight, you can check them out at trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams. And of course, if you want to help the channel out and grow and help our quality get better, check out our Patreon and donate at patreon.com/PTRTV, even from $1 to $10 to $20, whatever you want to donate. There are tiers and rewards for each member. So again, if you want to help the channel out, take a look at that website. Well, that's another broadcast here on PTR TV. We brought you the Hardline Racing League, the Midwest PowerSource Cup Series, so we will have the weekend off, and we will be with you live at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday for Episode 3 of The Racer's Mind. We have a full show of content there on that weekly podcast. We'll have the Integrity Racing League, their first race on our channel, 9 o'clock Eastern on Monday night. American Sim Racing Series on Tuesday, Rivalry Racing on Thursdays, and the Hardline Racing League, of course, every Friday night. So signing out of the booth tonight is Corey Silva and Evan Black, with Joe Chris helping us out behind the scenes. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night, and we will see you on Monday.